in the early days, it became common for hotels to have outdoor pools, then indoor pools, gyms, spas, Michelin star restaurants, and then also attractions as part of the experiences. The kingdom here is experiencing an unprecedented growth that we haven't seen anywhere else in the world at such a fast pace, with amazing giga projects that we have heard of, over the last 2 days, mega projects, new destinations, combined with futuristic developments, but then also a lot of the heritage. What are the future customers looking for, and what are the demographics? Hassan, would you like to take that question?
First of all, thank you for hosting us, and it's a great FHS for us. I think what the customer is looking for new experience. And actually, Saudi Arabia offers a lot of grants for new experiences. You can see the geography of the country, and as the leader of STOs mentioned, that we have a lot to offer here, from mountains to sea to desert, and then we have a lot really to offer in this one. If you look into what they are doing and what the leisure customer would like to see happening, I think they are also in the pipeline here. You see the destination is offering a lot of activities. They are ground for experiences, but my colleagues will speak about the experience. They are in the heart of the experience, but from a leisure point of view, I see the entertainment is the key for it. Mm-hmm. And on the entertainment, we can tackle a few things where the destination is attracting, I would say, new visitor, or I would say specific visitors. We take, for example, is the Falcon Festival. You can take the horse festival. You can work on Formula One from the sports point of view. There are a lot of other cultural events happening here, and this is where the leisure is looking for something new, and I think the destination is covering this new. When it comes to the demography and who is coming, I think the destination offers for everybody. It offers for an individual, for a couple, for a family, for everyone to come, and everyone will find his space or her space in the destination to come and visit.
Excellent, thank you. Now, looking at what's being developed here, and Chris, with your experience from attractions and water park, where do you think the hotel industry can learn from attractions, and where can attractions learn from hotels?
It's interesting because sitting in the back the last couple days and listening to hoteliers, and I've been around hoteliers a long time, and I'm not a hotelier, it's usually all about the hotel. That's the asset versus it being maybe the entire offering. His Excellency was up here earlier and really talking about not just the offering within, but also what is the wider offering. And I think in my past and in my experience, I've been part of brands that have had the foresight to look beyond just what the hotel is, to be able to really understand what their guests want and need, and sometimes without truly understanding what they wanted, but stumbled into it, and then recognized that this great little leisure offering is driving a huge amount of occupancy and a huge amount of ADR. And I would never tell people, go build this. What I tell people is to go understand who your guests are. Understand who you want your guests to be and what their needs are. And then go after it with a very narrow focus to be able to try to attract those people, because it becomes very easy to measure when you do that.
Excellent, thank you. Mike, anything you would like to add to that?
Well, I definitely think that the leisure as itself can add huge value. I think straight away people are thinking, when we go back, a swimming pool was enough. I'm thinking when I used to go on holiday with my parents, it would be a case of I'd go in the sea, I'd go in the swimming pool, I'd maybe play on a table tennis table with the other kids. But these days, especially with the development and everything we're exposed to, We can see what's out there. We can see what is available. So because of that, we want more. So sitting by the pool is no longer enough. Kids are able to, they know about Disney. They know about what is out there in the world. And if resorts can all of a sudden increase their offering to attract the whole family and appeal to everyone, it's a very different value proposition. And in the decision making, that will help certain brands and the operators be the destination of choice.
From building the destinations and keeping the customers on resort to increase the length of stays, Hassan, with Rixos being the first all-inclusive hotel or resort here in the kingdom, why is it that that concept works so well, and what does future all-inclusive vacations look like in the future customer?
Actually, before bringing in and signing with Rixos, we wanted to understand the brand and if the brand will really fit with the destination. Definitely, it's a very successful brand, so we're delighted of our partnership with them. Asking specific about the brand and the length of stay. First of all, I think the brand focused very much on spending more time outside the room than inside the room. That doesn't mean the room looks ugly. It's really very decent, and I would like to stay even 24 hours in it. But actually, the attractions outside is what keeps you going outside your room. If you are a family and you have kids, you do not need to worry about the kids. So the kids facility is really kind of a main focus for them. And this helps a lot of couples who they want to have their children, taken care of. And of course, taking off in terms of they do a lot of activities and attraction and sports and come really tired, and they look after them for their breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and etc. So this is the main focus, or one of the main focus in it. Of course, you have the wellness and spa like in every resort, so when you have free time, you go for it. But the more important one, and what it's called all-inclusive, the all-inclusive is you pay only once. So every one of us, the last or worst moment is when you're gonna pick up your credit card and pay. So imagine annoying moments during your stay that every time you need to sign or pay. Here you pay only one time. And you pay one time and then enjoy all the activities, food and leisure. To extend the stay, actually it makes you, every resort of Rixos we have visited or the one we are building have more than one outlet. And if you and me were on vacation somewhere, you want to have a dinner different places. So today, without the all-inclusive, people will go outside the resort or outside the hotel to find for a nice restaurant. Rixos makes it all inside and give you the experience to go and do and experience different specialties every evening for it. And this, the more restaurants they have, the more length of stay basically it caters for. So this is what we find out very attractive. Plus, add to it a sector which I think Reese knows more and Mike, is the entertainment. So you are very well, you have a program almost every day, every night, every then. And because of the scale of Rixos, they move their entertainment from one place to another and going around. So from clients or a customer point of view, you go to the same place, you will not find all time the same entertainment. There are all time ongoing issues, which makes it really attractive. And if you want to follow a particular artist, they will tell you, well, this artist today is in such Rixos resort. So people would really book, one, and to enjoy the vacation. At the same time, they will enjoy, I would say, this particular, I would say, star or entertainment event. So this is what is coming. We thought that it will fit perfectly well the Saudi market. And as mentioned by the STA leader earlier, we cater for the domestic market, okay? And obviously, Rixos will bring in a new attraction to the domestic market, in addition to, of course, bringing the neighborhood, whoever had an experience in Doha, for example, or in Dubai, or in Turkey, or somewhere else. They will hear about the new Rixos in Jeddah, and they would like to come, one, for the curiosity of the destination, because when you speak about the destination, it's still a mystery. It was unreachable like a year ago until they open up the visas. Everybody is curious to come to Saudi Arabia. Add to it one or two products like Rixos and others, I think will really favor to have more people coming into the destination.
Thank you. And looking at the projects that are planned, whether it's hotels, attractions, and any vacation or holiday destination, business destination, leisure destination has a seasonality. And it's happy days during the high season, and when everybody can command their price points that they have set. Another challenge is then the low season, either if it's then the cooler weather for the water parks, or if it's then in the summer for resorts and for attractions that do not have water. What's your advice, to the audience to keep your brand integrity and not to enter the price war for the gain of occupancy? To make sure that then also the destination doesn't get diluted, regardless of which area, within the kingdom. It's something that other destinations have seen, the more supply that enters the market, while some of it is complementing each other and drives more tourists into the destination during high season. But during the shoulder season, this could become not a challenge, but more innovation needed in terms of commercial strategies.
Again, I'm going to always tend to lean back to the data is king. Data is what you're going to rely on to figure out what your high seasons are, what your low seasons are. Of course, hoteliers know that like the back of their hand. But then it is figuring out what do we put in place to be able to drive occupancy during those off seasons. Who do we partner with that potentially has a very good season when we are in our off season? For instance, in the summertime, it was oftentimes throughout the Middle East a lower season, lower occupancy, lower rates. People figured out that the only thing you want to do outside is to be in water. And so if you had something that was water related that was more interesting than the people you're competing with, you oftentimes had guests that would flock to you. We had a chain of hotels that we were able to offer great deals to, and they had a distinct advantage over competitors because they had this great water offering that was in the low season for them. But for us at the water park, it was our high season. So we were able to look at that and partner together to be able to drive it both ways. So when we were low, we could also partner with them.
Excellent. And Mike, what's your advice to investors? Let's say the resort or the area has been open for 2 or 3 years, and we need to reevaluate the selling proposition, to reevaluate what space could be better utilized. Do you have any dead space? And maybe share with us some of the examples of what your company has been able to implement and to create a new experience in an existing space, and to give then the guests another selling point or another storytelling and experience.
So I'd jump on what Chris said, that I think differentiation is the first key. When it gets to that price war, you don't have to enter that. If you're differentiated, you've got more to offer, you can actually protect yourself. And I think the one misconception I often see is people say value versus cost. And if you're still offering value, then you don't have to, it's not solely on cost. And going back to your question about, advice for investors, is I look at Rixos as a great example. When you talk to me about Rixos, I think this is a park that has Land of Legends in Turkey, where you have roller coasters connected to a resort. At the moment, the Rixos group in Qatar are building one of the world's largest water parks with an 80-meter tower. This is what's going to help put that brand, that people associate the hotel as much as they associate with the leisure offering. And when you talk about existing assets, you sometimes have your fixed space, and you have to sweat those assets as much as possible. So it's what can you do with that to give yourself that competitive advantage? And I think in the market right now, there is so much greenfield development that it makes it very difficult for the existing hotels, because when you've got an open plan, you can do what you want, you can make it exactly how it should be to keep up with the competition. But for existing operators, there's all sorts you can do, and that can be just renovating a restaurant. That can be adding a new concept. It can be a kids club, a gym, whatever. From our perspective, from a water park or an outdoor amenity, the beauty there is usually you have space. You don't need necessarily to find this indoor area that's served for another purpose. So if you can, with the available space, you can provide something to the guests that's going to widen the demographic, is going to make it more attractive, then that sort of helps you when you are trying to attract the guests. I think one of the projects I sort of see as a great success recently was in the UAE. We worked on, there was a Westin, a Meridian, and a W, all in the same complex. They had a lawn space that wasn't generating any revenue. They built a sort of a 6,000 square meter water park, which was for day guests. People were coming in off the street. If you're deciding where to stay, you look at the other resorts nearby, which don't have anything for the kids, versus something that can keep the kids there for a day, for 2 days, for 3 days. Also, once you're on the property, you don't leave for lunch now. As a parent, you're sitting by the pool, you're quite comfy. If there's nothing, the kids are going to be on you. Come on, let's go, let's get out of here. All of a sudden, the kids are like, Mum, Dad, we want to stay here. So what do? You go to the F&B outlet, you're spending more elsewhere. You don't have to spend $100 tickets to go to outside entertainment, so you can justify that extra $10, $15 on your room rate. So I think within existing assets, there's a lot that can be done to make sure you're keeping up with these greenfield developments, and that can be anything from a small area to something more substantial. The challenge we often see is that the operators and the investors have slightly different viewpoints. The operators, maybe they don't have the money, they're just looking to tweak an asset, whereas an investor can look long term. Well, actually, I've got this asset. This is mine for the next 30, 40, 50 years. If I invest now, it's setting us up for success for that entire period.
Thank you. What major part will technology play in the leisure industry? Hassan?
I think it's a lot. Technology, if we look at the technology today, first of all, you have to have it in your room in a way, right? So we all look for a decent internet, nice TV screen sometimes, streaming our own programs or big photos or YouTube, whatever we'd like to see at it. The technology comes in from the check-in point of view. Okay, so seamless check-in, this is the key for today, where you can go in really very fast and quick to your rooms. Technology plays a major role in it. I would say technology plays the role even before pre-arrival. So communicating with the guest, this is the key for us, and asking for her or her preference, his preferences, making sure that it is all attended to, and this gives completely a new and different guest experience from a technology point of view. Then we continue in the technology world when the guest is in, and we have all the management system behind to make sure you have a comfortable place, your account statistics. Chris keep insisting on data, but data comes from technology, so technology coming in. The other side of technology comes on the sustainability. Okay, so good technology items, I'm speaking about your chiller, your solar panel, and etc. Once you embed it into your construction, whether it's old or new or renovation, this helps a lot, okay, to reduce your cost in a way, but again, you are back to technology. So it's really a very wide technology. A word to mention technology is linked to two main things: from the construction, from the guest management, from their arrival, from the bookkeeping, from post-bookkeepings, and of course the entertainment part of it.
Thank you. And Chris, how do you utilize technology to make it easy in terms of experience for the customer, but at the same time use the customer data to understand the flow and where you can place additional revenue generating outlets, be it from F&B, from a retail perspective, and then also understand and learn what the customer is looking for?
Technology is really an enabler to the operators and for the guests, as opposed to it being integral into the experience. We have this conversation all the time in design meetings when we start talking about the gamification of attractions, attractions that have a lot of media involved, but also involve potentially a phone or a device. Mike will talk about that a little bit. But what we're always trying to do is to get people to set it down so that they can connect. That's the purpose of what we want people doing when they come to the facilities that we look at designing, owning, and operating. And so that technology is really meant to help people get in seamlessly, to help them pay very easily, to help them find things and to navigate where there are low queues and there's no bottlenecks, to help operators with being more efficient with the way that they operate so they can make the experience better for guests. And so that's really how we see and use technology, and that's continuing to advance, every day, to the point of, most likely by the time all of these attractions open here in Saudi, on your phone, you'll be able to know where everybody in your group is throughout the whole park. So you'd be able to find where they're at, send them a message, we're going to meet here for lunch, so people can go do their own things. That technology's here already. It's already in place. People just haven't adopted it yet. And so you're going to see some huge leaps and advances when it comes to technology to enable the experience.
Mike, anything you would like to add to that, to technology in attractions?
It's all about experience. And I'm actually going to look at technology in two parts. One, I'm going to look at the technology external, which I see as social media. It's not your traditional technology, but everyone wants to post that picture. We were talking with Chris yesterday. He was saying anything you design now is what's the Instagrammable moment in a design. But actually, we want to get away from that. An Instagram is a snapshot, is a once in time. It's sort of showing to everyone else, this is what we can do. This is where I've been, this is what I'm showing off about. Whereas we want to experience from a different way. You never forget, I'm sure every single person in this audience can remember a time where they went to a leisure destination with their parents when they were younger. And I'm sure however many years later, many more for Chris than for myself, but I can remember that, going to Disney with my father, and we went up the log flume and coming over that hoop, there were some expletives from my father, and this is 35 years later. I can remember this, and that's the experience we want to create, those lasting memories. But then you go to experience, it's all about seamless, making it easy. We're in a hotel. You're still signing at the check at the end of your dinner. I think the theme parks and the likes of Disney are driving this in leisure destination where it's pay as you go. It's with your wristband, whatever it is. It's making that super easy. Whatever you want throughout the day is via technology. It's knowing where your family are. It's having that automated ability to have those experiences, those Instagrammable moments which we dislike, posted on social media. So I think technology can go to improve the experience by being in the background and just making everything easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the key is to bear in mind for the future of travel, and whatever your customer has at home in terms of technology experience, when they come on vacation, they would like to experience something even better, and really that last one. So unfortunately, our time is almost up, and I'd like to invite you now for your closing comments in terms of what the future of leisure looks like, and how the hospitality and attraction industry can do to stay ahead of the curve in terms of employment and in terms of experiences.
She's very nice.
Well, I'll try to be very quick. We have 3 minutes, 1 minute each, right? What I'm saying is leisure is it's all about experience. So anyone is investing or would like to invest in a resort, basically, to attract a domestic or international one, must have a unique selling point compared to the others. We mentioned when we were in our pre-discussion before, you may have 4 hotels next to each other. What makes people going to one and not the others? So, here is only data, only analysis, only good imagination, and of course a good team, speaking from the conception to the rest, on creating the unique selling point to attraction. Adding the facilities into it, mentioned no need to add facilities which is not paying off or it's not making sense for the category or the segments you are targeting for. So again, analyzing, this is for me kind of a unique selling point. When I answered you quickly for the employment, okay, I think it was mentioned here that there is a need for employment. 2 criteria we really work on when we hire people. It's really the attitude and the ability to smile and serve. Once you have these 2, then the rest of the crowd here can train for the skills. And this is where we encourage the crowd to join us.
Thank you.
Mine's very simple. It's to know your guests, know the guests that you want to have in the future, that you're aspirational for, and then lean into the things that will drive them to your facilities, to your hotel, to your resort, whatever it may be. Not just from the facilities or the leisure amenities that you're going to build, but also how you market to them, because that is what will bring them in, and it's leaning in heavily to that.
Thank you. Mike?
I'm going to try and solve the age-old discussion of who is the decision maker. Is it the kid? Is it mom? Is it the dad? Is it the grandparent? The beauty of what leisure can provide in the hospitality space is targeting every single one of them. So all of a sudden, it's not a decision of we're doing this for the parents, we're doing this just for the kids, we're doing this just for the grandparents. It's creating destinations where every single person, just like malls are starting to do more and more, where every single person on that decision-making chain is aligned. And I think leisure will help do that in the hospitality space.
Is it ever for dad? I don't.
You pay, okay?
Thank you very much to the panelists for their invaluable insight. Thank you to the audience for listening, and thank you to the Future Hospitality Summit for putting this panel together. Shukran and masalama.